Your blood pressure is normal, he said. I don't see any immediate concerns, but I'd like to run a few tests. Ada nodded. I'll also give you a mild sedative to help relax your nerves, he continued. It will make the examination easier. This was it. She forced herself to look uncertain. A sedative. Yes, just something very mild. You might feel a little drowsy, but it will pass quickly. Ada hesitated, pretending to think it over. Is it really necessary? Dr. Emmanuel gave her a gentle smile. I promise, it's safe. He walked to a cabinet, opened it, and pulled out a small vial and a syringe. Ada's stomach clenched as she watched him prepare the injection. She needed to buy time. Doctor, she said suddenly, can I use the restroom first? He paused, then smiled again. Of course. Just down the hall, first door on the left. Ada nodded, sliding off the bed. She walked calmly out of the room, but the moment she was in the hallway, she moved quickly. She had only a few seconds. She took out her phone, snapped a quick photo of the doctor, set up his tray, the syringe, the vial, then sent a text to Colonel. Be ready? She slipped the phone back into her pocket and walked to the restroom. She splashed water on her face, took a deep breath, then walked back to the examination room. Dr. Emmanuel was waiting, still holding the syringe. Feeling better? He asked. Yes, she said, forcing a smile. Good. He gestured for her to sit back on the examination bed. Ada sat, rolling up her sleeve as he approached. He wiped her arm with an alcohol pad, then gently pressed the needle against her skin. The moment he injected the sedative, Ada felt a strange sensation spread through her veins. Her eyelids grew heavy. Her limbs felt sluggish. She had expected this, but it was stronger than she thought. She struggled to stay alert, her mind fighting against the drug. She couldn't let herself black out. Not yet. Dr. Emmanuel was watching her closely. Just relax, he said softly. Ada took slow, deep breaths. She let her body go limp, pretending to sink into unconsciousness. She heard movement, the sound of gloves being put on, the soft rustling of fabric. She forced herself to stay awake, her mind barely holding on. Then, she felt it, a hand on her arm, moving, touching. Her heart pounded. She had to act. With the last bit of strength she had, Ada jerked her arm away and forced her eyes open. Dr. Emmanuel's face twisted in shock. Before he could react, Ada reached into her pocket and hit send on her phone. Now, the door burst open. Colonel stormed in, gun drawn. Step away from her, he barked. Dr. Emmanuel froze. His face went pale. Ada, still dizzy, forced herself to sit up. Colonel grabbed the doctor's arms and pulled him back. You're under arrest, Colonel growled. Dr. Emmanuel opened his mouth, but no words came out. Ada took a deep breath, steadying herself. It was over. They had caught him. Justice for the victims. The courtroom was packed. Women filled the benches, their faces tight with anger and pain. Some were victims. Others were their families, their friends. Some had come simply because they wanted justice to be served. Ada sat in the front row, her fists clenched on her lap. Colonel was beside her, his face unreadable. At the front of the courtroom, Dr. Emmanuel stood in the defendant's box. He wore a simple suit, his face carefully blank, but Ada could see it. The fear. He was afraid. The judge entered, and everyone rose. When they sat down again, the trial began. The prosecutor stood first. She was a sharp-eyed woman with a strong voice. Your Honor, we are here today because of one man's cruelty. A doctor, someone who was supposed to heal, betrayed his patients in the worst way. She turned and looked straight at Dr. Emmanuel. This man used his position to harm innocent women. He drugged them, assaulted them, and left them with wounds they could not even remember receiving. A murmur ran through the courtroom. The judge banged his gavel. Order. The prosecutor nodded and continued. For years, women left his clinic feeling empty, confused, violated. They did not know what had been done to them. But today, we know. And today, we seek justice. She gestured toward the gallery. Some of the victims are here. Some will testify. Others are too scared, too broken, but their stories will be heard. She turned to the jury. And when they are, you will see, this man is guilty. She sat down. The defense lawyer stood up. Your Honor, he said smoothly, this case is built on emotions, not facts. My client is a respected doctor. He has saved lives. He has helped many people. And now, because of one woman's wild accusations, he is being treated like a monster. Ada stiffened. The lawyer continued, Where is the proof, the so-called evidence? The claims against my client are nothing but assumptions. We ask that the court dismiss this case. He sat down. The judge looked at the prosecutor. Call your first witness. Ada's heart pounded. The prosecutor stood. We call Detective Ada Okafor. She took a deep breath and stood. As she walked to the witness stand, she felt every eye on her. She swore the oath and sat down. The prosecutor approached. Detective, please tell the court how you became involved in this case. Ada spoke clearly. I had a personal connection. My sister was a patient of Dr. Emmanuel. When she left his clinic, something was wrong. She was confused, weak. She did not remember anything, but she knew something had happened to her. She swallowed hard. I started looking into it. I noticed a pattern. Many women came out of that clinic the same way, dazed, empty. It wasn't normal. The prosecutor nodded. And what did you do next? I went undercover, Ada said. I became a patient. I let Dr. Emmanuel examine me. He told me he would give me a sedative. I pretended to fall asleep. Her hands clenched. And then, Ada looked straight at Dr. Emmanuel. He touched me, she said coldly. Gasps filled the courtroom. The judge banged his gavel again. Order. The prosecutor's voice was firm. Did you have proof? Ada nodded. Yes. My partner, Detective Cunnell, was outside. The moment I signaled him, he came in and arrested the defendant. She looked at the jury. We caught him in the act. The prosecutor turned to the judge. No further questions. The defense lawyer stood up. Detective Okafor, he said, you claim you were drugged, yet you remained awake. How? Ada met his eyes. I trained myself. I took a small dose beforehand to build resistance. The lawyer nodded slowly. I see. So, you tricked my client. I did my job. The lawyer smiled, but it was fake. Detective, you are a woman on a mission. Your emotions are clouding your judgment. How do we know you didn't fabricate this? Ada didn't flinch. Because we have evidence. The lawyer hesitated. What evidence? Ada turned to the prosecutor, who nodded. The prosecutor pulled out a flash drive. We have video footage. The defense lawyer's face paled. The prosecutor continued. A hidden camera recorded everything. The drugging, the assault, the moment Detective Okafor signaled for backup. The courtroom was silent. Then the prosecutor turned to the judge. We ask permission to play the footage. The judge nodded. Proceed. The video played on the large screen. Dr. Emmanuel was seen preparing the syringe, injecting Ada. Then, as she pretended to sleep, he touched her. The silence in the courtroom was deafening. When the video ended, the prosecutor spoke. This is what this man did, over and over again. He thought no one would ever catch him. She turned to the jury, but he was wrong. The defense lawyer looked defeated. He stood up, but he had nothing to say. The judge turned to Dr. Emmanuel. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Dr. Emmanuel finally spoke. His voice was hoarse. He had no excuses. The judge turned to the jury. You have seen the evidence. You have heard the testimony. It is time to decide. The jury left the room. Ada sat down. Minutes felt like hours. Then, the jury returned. The judge asked, have you reached a verdict? The jury foreman stood. Yes, Your Honor. What is your verdict? The foreman took a breath. Guilty. The courtroom erupted. Dr. Emmanuel slumped in his chair, his face drained of color. The judge banged his gavel. Order. When silence returned, he looked at Dr. Emmanuel. For your crimes, I sentence you to life in prison. The courtroom cheered. Ada felt tears in her eyes. It was over. Justice was served.
It's been a pleasure sharing this with you today. If you found this helpful or inspiring, please consider giving it a like and subscribing for more content like this. Your support means a lot.